Thanks for joining us. Now, over 1,200 delegates of the opposition NDC in the Ayawaso West Wagon constituency here in Accra will later today converge at the Bauleshi Basic School Park to elect a parliamentary candidate ahead of the by-election next month. 2016 parliamentary candidates Delali Brimpong, Eko Akwa and Dela Selassie will be slugging it out in today's polls. Kwesi Parker Wilson has been speaking to the aspirants.
MP who just passed on has really worked in Ayawaso West. However, I believe when the opportunity is given to a female, and for that matter, a young person like me, because when you look at this constituency, we have lots of youthful, we have lots of youths in this constituency, and I believe I can resonate very well with the youth, and then we'll make sure that this constituency is well developed.
Okay, so my final question. That you are a lightweight in this election because you are contesting the 2016 parliamentary candidate of the NDC, who is also in this race. How do you respond to those people who have raised these concerns?
Thank you very much. I think I've been tried and tested. I am a grassroots person. I started from the branch level. I've worked with the party. I actually understand the party members and all. Again, I have contested assembly elections. So that's one of the reasons why I'm saying I've been tried and tested. I've worked really hard in this constituency. I'm sure lots of people will attest to that fact.
This is a Kukastic day. It's a special day in my life that a poor man from a village called Bremanesiam will have the courage to pick form to contest for parliamentary primaries. Mr. Brimpong led us into 2020 and lost the seat abysmally, woefully. We've never recorded such a woeful and abysmal performance before. In 2012, Kwame Iwadako lost by 1,691.
Now, Parker also spoke to an electoral officer.
I'm here to supervise the primaries for the election of a parliamentary candidate for the NDC in the upcoming by-elections in Ayawaso West Wagon constituency. We've arranged it such that we have 3 electoral areas voting in each of the centers. We have 6 electoral areas in Ayawaso. Yeah, for the first center, that's Center A, we're going to have Abelempe electoral area, Jolo electoral area, and then Roman Ridge electoral areas voting there. Then for the Center B, East Legon, and then Okongulu electoral areas, and so I don't envisage any problem. We expect that the delegates will cooperate with us so that by the end of the day we shall all celebrate a very peaceful and acceptable exercise.
Are there any provisions for the physically challenged?
Yeah, anybody who is physically challenged and comes here, we have made provisions for them. Yes, we take care of them.
Now, the opposition NDC has said it will resist any attempts by the Electoral Commission and the governing MPP to tamper with the 2020 elections. The NDC alleges that some officials of the Electoral Commission were seen thumbing several ballot papers in the just-ended referendum for the creation of the new regions. The NDC says they will ensure the by-elections reflects the will of the people. Here's Deputy General Secretary of the party, Peter Otokono. Now, he was speaking to Parker Wilson, who has joined us on the phone. So, Parker, what has Mr. Otokono been saying?
Well, clearly, Daniel, the NDC, and I mean the Deputy General Secretary, is not really happy with what happened yesterday regarding the referendum for the creation of the new regions. Now, videos have been seen where some individuals allegedly are tampering the ballot papers. Now, according to Otokono, he believes that these men or the people we saw in the video are officers of the Electoral Commission. Of course, even if they are not, they're standing by watching the people to do what they do. So it means that, by extension, the Electoral Commission was conniving with these individuals to stuff the ballot boxes, which for him, there's a possibility for that to happen within the 2020 election and also the upcoming by-election. Now, for him, he's saying that if that is what the NPP and the Electoral Commission will do, the NDC clearly will resist any attempt to tamper with the result. And this is a caution to the AC and the NPP. And again, cited reasons why he believes that the NPP and the NDC would want to, connive to rig the election because he said that ever since Jean Mensa was appointed as the electoral commissioner, what she's done is to show some kind of disrespect towards the NDC, inviting them late for IFAC meetings and all of that. It is not in the best interest of the NDC. So for him, he's serving notice, he's cautioning the NPP and the electoral commission to be careful. If that's what they want to do, the NDC will resist that.
Did he give any indication that they would be reporting the person seen in this video he's talking about, or they will be challenging the results of that area that's the people in the video are working in?
He said that, they're going to explore the other options, whether going to court or police the process right from the polling station, because they are mindful of what the former electoral commissioner said, and I'm talking about electoral commission Afarijan, that elections are won at the polling station. So for him, they are going to deploy all their tactics to ensure that they protect the ballot box and they protect the right of the ordinary Ghanaian, and ensure that the upcoming by-election definitely will reflect the will of the people and, by extension, in the 2020 general elections as well.
Right, thanks Parker Wilson for joining us. He's our correspondent here. Well, he's a reporter here, and he's monitoring the Ayawaso West Wogon constituency primary for the NDC. Now, residents of newly created Bono East region have been charged to come together to push a common developmental agenda to the benefit of all. Now, the chairman of the Bono East Electoral Committee, Kwesi Edujan, says the residents should support governments by first mobilizing local resources to cater for their local needs. The call comes in less than 24 hours after residents in 11 municipalities and districts overwhelmingly endorsed the proposed Bono East region with 99.5% votes to cede from the existing Bono Ahafo region. First, let's listen to how the regional returning officer for Bono East, James Arthur Yeboah, announced results of the referendum.
I declare the following as the outcome of the referendum conducted on the 27th December 2018 for the creation of the Bono East region. The total registered voters for the proposed region is 525,275, of which 450,812, representing 85.82%, cast their votes. Yes votes 448,545, representing 99.5% of the total vote cast, voted yes. No votes 1,384, representing 0.3%, voted no. Rejected votes, a total of 883 votes, representing 0.2%, were rejected. By the powers conferred on me under Article 41, Section 3, Clause D of CI 109 for referendum creation of new regions regulations 2018, I hereby declare that based on the aforementioned, the request for the creation of the Bono East region is successful. Based on Article 41(1) of the aforementioned constitutional instrument.
Now, Mr. Jan believes the creation of the new region would be meaningless if the lives of the people are not impacted positively. He tells my colleague Ohiming Teria a few minutes after the EC announced Thursday's referendum results, the new region is endowed with all natural and human resources to survive. The call is supported by Adonte Hene of Techiman and chairman of the Coalition for Chiefs of Bono East, Nana Bafo Asari Chi Brimpong II.
In the first place, I've even lost my voice. We have to give praise and thanks to the Almighty God for being with us all along. And I think this is the time for us as people in the Bono East region to once again sit down and look at things that are going to help us as people in our developmental agenda. The Elections Committee chairman has said a lot. In fact, this agenda has brought us together as one people. We know we are chiefs in this traditional area, but then coming together, sitting down, analyze things that we have, the potentials we have at Bono East was a thing of the past. But when we had this idea of coming together and fought for a region, this brought us a lot of things. We tried to identify our potentials and find out the means of enhancing these potentials so that it will be something that will be a development for the people in this region.
Now, the Electoral Commission has expressed its satisfaction at the low number of rejected ballots recorded as Thursday's referendum in the proposed Bono East region. 500 rejected ballots were recorded in at least 6 municipalities and districts. These include Atebubu, Manting, Nkranza South and Techiman South. The Commission attributed the downward trend on increased public education, size of the ballot paper used for the exercise, and responsive voter attitude. Deputy Bono Ahafo Regional Director Charles Adamwa tells Joy News the development is a relief to the Commission.
As you went round and you saw what happened, we will not praise ourselves. I know I'll leave everything to you so that you will know, assess and know the hard work that we've done. If you are ready to accept something, I think you don't want your vote not to be counted. So everybody wanted the vote to be counted. So they took particular attention in the thumb printing. And the ballot papers that we use now, because it was yes and no, the spaces were very big. So it was very difficult even when you are thumb printing to thumb print a place that will be rejected. At least your finger will at least get to a place that it can be a valid vote and it can be counted. Listening to the results that are coming from the various polling stations, and I can see, to precise, that the results will be very encouraging. The turnout is very okay, and we are hoping that the percentage will go up when we declare the results.
Now, Mr. Damwa, who described the referendum in the Bono East region as successful, is also happy at the voter turnout. The success comes as some voters could not be verified by the biometric verification machines. Now, over 100 voters were verified manually as the Prabon public shared polling station in the Atebubu municipality. Mr. Damwa has been explaining to Joy News.
What I can say is maybe because of the farming activity that is in our area here. You see, you'll be able to capture it when you are registering. But when it comes to voting and you want to take the thumb print again, it's going to be very difficult because they've been using the same hands to read. And maybe getting it as you had it during the registration becomes very difficult. That's why we're encountering those difficulties. But more or less, we use the manual verification to verify them and make sure that they voted at the close of the elections.
Meanwhile, Member of Parliament for Atebubu Mantin, Kofi Amwako-Hene, says the referendum has unified opposition NDC and governing MPP to promote development for the people.
It's something that is going to mark the beginning of the expected development in the Bono East. And I wish such an exercise could have been carried throughout the whole country, not necessarily to have regions, but looking at the participation. And then I could only liken it to the Black Star March. One thing that has brought the whole Ghanaians together, especially the MPP and NDC fraternity. Here we've done this work, I mean, so much well with the NDC, all the political parties, of course, but I think the rivalry intensify when it comes to MPP and NDC, and this is something that we have done is so natural that nothing political came up, and to this end, I believe is going to have a very successful end.
Let's now get to the phone lines and speak with Martina Bugri, who reports from the Savannah area in the northern region. Martina, what are the results in the Savannah area?
For the Savannah region, they gave the yes vote a 99.7%. And I must say that almost all the results that came in, they were above 99%. And so you're looking at the trend earlier on when the results started coming in, the jubilation, the wild cheers and everything. People had jubilated. They were so tired that towards the morning, the place became quiet. And at the time of declaration, it was only the EC officials and a few people who had gathered to listen to what they had to declare officially.
What have been some of the reactions from the officials of the Electoral Commission and some of the elected officials in the area?
It was a mood of excitement for everybody. I mean, they had anticipated this, even though they didn't know it would come so unanimously like that. All they were hoping was that they are able to cross the mark that would give them the region. But the votes that came in, they were overwhelmed with it.
Right. Thanks a lot, Martina Bugri, for bringing us those updates. You're still watching Joy News today. Now, like Martina was saying, those general results seem to reflect across the country. We still have some resistance to this decision. You find reactions from quarters like in Imani, Ghana, where Franklin Kujo has been calling this entire process shambolic, especially considering the fact that it's only persons in the proposed regions who got the chance to vote. He is saying that because these persons are in the new areas, it's natural that we'll get such results for the election. Of course, that is just coming through, Franklin Kujo speaking there. So we are looking at the areas in the northeast region, the proposed northeast region, and they were the ones who would be selecting your new region, and that has been done so well. So this will be the Savannah region now, where Martina was reporting from, the Bole district, where former President John Dramani Mahama was voting there. An interesting picture showing him casting his yes ballot. We'll go to the OT enclave now, and Ivy Setoji is on the line. Ivy, give us the results as we have them. Okay, we'll get Ivy to give us that report shortly, but of course, if you stay with us here on Joy News, we have all the latest results from your various regional proposed regions where these elections took place. It's been the Western North region, the Savannah Northeast region, and we also have the Oti enclave out of the Volta region. We'll take these important messages. We'll be back. Thanks for staying with us. Now, the Upper West Regional Director of the Environmental Protection Agency, Zinabo Wasai King, has expressed concern over the spate of bush burning in the Upper West region. She said the situation is alarming as properties worth millions of Ghana cedis are not only lost, but it also destroys the vegetative cover of the region. She has therefore suggested stiffer punishment for persons who infringe on the law on bush burning to serve as a deterrent for others. Now, Zinabo Wasai King made the statement at the launch of the Upper West Anti-Bushfire campaign at Bairi in the Wa East District. Joy News' Upper West correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from Bairi.
Properties worth millions of Ghana cedis and thousands of wildlife are lost to bush burning annually in Ghana. Few among the many triggers of the canker include hunting, burning as farming practice, cigarette smoking, and unquenched cooking fires. The Provisional National Defense Council PNDC Law 229 of 1990 states that a person starts a bushfire if an action of the person results in the uncontrolled burning of a farm, forest, or grassland, and the punishment for committing this offense is a fine of 250 penalty units plus 12 months imprisonment or community labor. Despite the punitive measures put in place, some unscrupulous persons will not move away from the criminal act, which has therefore remained their subculture. Apart from Gozire in the Nondom district, where records have it that for close to 30 years, they have never experienced any bush burning. All other communities in the region are complicit in the act. Figures released from the Upper West Regional Command of the Ghana National Fire Service showed a record of 25 incidents of bushfires in 2018. The figure is a decrease of 50% of the number of cases recorded same period in 2017. However, these figures can be unreliable and misleading due to low capacity coupled with the inability of the Ghana National Fire Service to generate and usable records concerning bushfires in Ghana, a situation which Upper West Regional Director of the Environmental Protection Agency, Zainab Wasaikin, at the launch of the anti-bushfire advisory in the Wa'is district, has expressed concern over. She called for stiffer punishment to deter unscrupulous persons from the act.
I also like to appeal to our traditional rulers to use their respected positions as custodians of the land and tradition to contribute to the fight against indiscriminate bushfires. Indeed, our fight against it will not be successful without the support of our chiefs and tendames. Finally, Mr. Chairman, I wish to call on strict enforcement of bylaws against bushfires. Culprits should be made to face the full consequences of the law to serve as a deterrent to others. As
part of the launch, the Ghana National Fire Service inaugurated a 215 contingent fire volunteer squad from Qatar and Bairi under the Wa'is district to help in the prevention of bushfires. Assistant Chief Fire Officer Nathaniel Ibonyi is the Upper West Regional Commander of the Ghana National Fire Service.
Today's gathering here offers us the opportunity to ponder over how we carelessly set fire to the vegetation, not caring about the negative impact that brings to our health, livelihood, and the environment, even as PNDC Law 229 of 1990 regulates how we set fire to bushes.
Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam, Bairi.
Now, studies by Human Rights Watch reveal 1 in 10 girls in Africa skip school during menstruation, with the risk of some dropping out. The inability to afford the cost of sanitary pads and other materials is largely responsible. Despite the obvious socio-economic implications, there are concerns countries are doing little, with a distinct lack of efforts to provide single-sex toilets. Local NGO Rural Girls Empowerment is on a mission in the Ashanti region to keep female children in school through provision of sanitary pads. Kwesi Deborah reports.
My parents do not have money, so during my menstrual period, I use rag, tissue, and even sometimes dry plantain leaves.
Because we are teased by the boys in our schools, most of us will not come to school.
Our parents do not teach us how to manage ourselves during our period, so we find it difficult when we come to school. We just stay in our school uniform and the boys were teasing us.
A 2016 study by Human Rights Watch estimates 10% of girls in Africa miss school during menstruation. Rural Girls Empowerment is concentrating its effort especially on rural communities. At an outreach program in the Chumanwabiaja district, 300 girls from 3 communities received free pass. Founder Amdia Abdul Latif says Ghana risks losing out on the potential of many female children until barriers to their development are cleared. She says intensified and concerted effort is required to reverse the trend as her organization has begun.
We mentor young girls, we educate and mentor these young girls to learn, succeed and lead change in their communities. We all know the problems the young girls are facing in their rural community. Poverty, extreme poverty, inequality, gender norms, which are hindering their access to quality education. So what we are doing at this moment is to create access to educational opportunities. We also create skill training opportunities, especially to teenage mothers, so that they can also learn a skill and then be able to sustain themselves economically. We've also established mentorship clubs in the basic schools in the rural communities, where we help to help young girls to aspire quality womanhood.
Reporting for Joy News, Kwesi Deborah.
Now, fake health insurance card holders will no longer be a burden on the scheme with planned introduction of paperless system at hospitals. The system, already piloted under the National e-Health Project, eliminates the folder system and stores patients' data electronically. A pilot of the initiative under the National e-Health Project has already automatically rejected cards which are not credible. Such information can also be accessed by any health institution nationwide. Love FM's Kwesi Deborah has more in this report.
The National e-Health Project with biosurveillance has already been piloted at the Trauma and Specialist Hospital at Winneba in the Central Region. The project will be executed by local healthcare infrastructure entity, Lightwave e-Healthcare Services. A centralized data center and a 24-hour data recovery unit have already been developed. Chief Executive of Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, Dr. Ohineba Usudanso, outlines measures in place to make the system fully operational early next year.
All the managers in line and all the lead people from the various directorates and the subunits who constitute this leadership group have been trained. Beyond that, every department had also selected a core number of staff for them to be trained very extensively, just so that when one program rolls out, even though the technical people are going to be with us for a period of time to make sure that all the nitty-gritty and the challenges are corrected, we need to have our members of staff, who we call the super trainers, so that for them, they have been trained more extensively that they can resolve most of the problems without even making reference to the company that is going to be on site. And that is what we have been done. So if we take the family medicine area, for instance, where we have done the full rollout, as part of it, beyond that, every staff here who is working here, because we know some of the staff come on shift.
Health Minister Kwaku Agyeman-Manu believes the system will also check revenue leakages.
Our research indicates that we can have about 30% cost savings on health insurance claims alone, right? And that is a very, very big gain we're going to get. And then that will help make health insurance sustainable and give us money to be paying promptly so that we can have service. And probably the president's dream will come true by expanding coverage and making sure that we are receiving what we call universal health coverage through this.
Reporting for Joy News, Kwesi Deborah.
Now, government has declared Monday, 7th January 2019 as a public holiday. The directive was contained in a news release on Thursday, signed by Interior Minister Ambrose Derry. The day is being observed as Constitution Day. You will recall 2 weeks ago, government introduced a bill to amend the Public Holidays Act. The bill earmarked January 7 as Constitution Day and August 4 as Founders Day, whilst proposing to scrap the AU holiday on May 25, as well as a Republic Day holiday on July 1. So why January 7? Well, January 7, 1993 was the day the 1992 Constitution came into force for the Fourth Republic of Ghana. This was after its approval at a referendum held on April 28, 1992. January 7 is also the day new heads of state are sworn into office. But Parliament has yet to approve the bill. The House went on recess last week before MPs had the opportunity to approve the controversial bill, sections of which are being opposed by some political parties, including the Convention People's Party. Even before the bill gets approval by the House, government has, by an executive instrument, declared January 7 a holiday. Included in the bill are proposals for the scrapping of the May 25 AU Day and the July 1 Republic Day. The two holidays are expected to be observed as commemorative holidays. Now, if the amendments are passed, Ghana will have 13 statutory holidays and 2 commemorative holidays. Vice Chairman of Parliament's Defence and Interior Committee, Collins Osuamankwa, says, he has been justifying government's decision to introduce the new holiday. We'll be moving on and we'll be hearing from Mr. Osuamankwa in later bulletins. Now, 2018 is ending and we are just a few days away from 2019. There were good music, great movies, painful deaths, and also the exciting moments, even for us here at Joy News. But how has the year been for you? Nancy Emefa Juadosi has been speaking to some of you and now reports.
It's just 3 days more to 2019. Hooray! And a lot of things have happened this year. For some, it was simply amazing.
It was so good for me. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed everything. It was 2018. I hope 2019 will be so like that for us.
Wow, a normal year. Just too much stress. Work, tiredness, too much for us. But it all has been good.
And for others, it has not been the best at all.
Actually, the year is very bad.
If you say very bad, what do you mean?
It's not good. There's no money in the system. There's no money in the system because the economy is very hard now. Nobody is getting money to do anything.
On the streets today, I met Joseph Adamafio, who was excited about leaving work.
I started my pension on the 23rd December last year. And throughout the period, I've been okay, I've been fine. There was no stress. I mean, I sleep well, I get up the time I like, and I do my exercises, walking exercise and so on.
No more waking up at 5.
Waking up, no stress.
Samuel Atu says the banking crisis was one of the news that hit him and just cannot get over it.
It's the way the banking system has collapsed. And the way we saw banking officials driven from office as if it was a coup d'etat. To me, as a Ghanaian, I feel it's bad.
Security officer Michael Ledu will also not forget this, and I'm sure most of us wouldn't.
Like the way some time ago, I learned the policeman, beat a lady at the bank. It was somehow really not good. But being a lady with a child, you should have, because I'm a security guard. If something like that happens at the bank, I know how to talk to the clients. So I was really hurt that day. Being a police officer, you shouldn't have done such a thing to, yes.
But it's been a good year. See you all in 2019.
Yep, some great moments, and 2019 will even be better. Now, the United Arab Emirates says it's committed to supporting Ghana to provide affordable housing. Daryl is up next with business.